There's an infinite number of universes out there. In many of them, there is a podcast by us. In one of them, it's good. Please enjoy.
Hey, man.
Hey, Zeb.
How you going?
Pretty good.
What's happening?
I'm alright. I got a bit of a sore throat from talking forever.
Oh, man. You got to stay hydrated, you know?
Yeah.
It's very important. You know what you need?
What do I need?
You need some dehydrated meat.
Hello and welcome to the But Yeah podcast with Eamon and Zeb. I'm Eamon.
And I am Zeb.
And it is the 14th of June, a pretty special day. Gotta say, like, not as special as other days, I guess, because it's Jerky Day.
I love jerky. It is so hard to eat. I love it so much. I love spending 20 minutes chewing on a thing, a salty thing with no nutrients.
I do like jerky. It's got protein.
Yeah, I guess. I guess that's a nutrient.
Now, but cardboard has nutrients. Nothing has no nutrients except, I guess...
That is true. It is like eating cardboard.
No, that's not my point.
Really leathery cardboard. Water doesn't really... Even water has a nutrient in it. Water. I forget the definition of nutrient.
You're wearing a science coat.
I am.
You can't forget the definition of nutrients.
I'm a modern scientist. Let me just check Wikipedia. It's a substance used by an organism to survive, grow, and reproduce. Yeah, it's everything. That's everything. There's nothing that isn't that.
Including jerky.
Except jerky. Which does it both... What? It doesn't help you... It prevents you from surviving. You shrink when you eat it, and you don't... You have less... Lowers your sperm count, probably. I don't know.
You're doing...
I actually love jerky.
You're doing Jerky Day wrong.
How are we supposed to celebrate jerky? Oh, these are some awful pictures on Wikipedia of jerky. It is an awful looking food. I'm being really mean to jerky. I don't know why. I love it. Like, I want to get a dehydrator and make some. But I want to dehydrate random shit, not just like reasonable jerky ingredients. I'm just going to put an orange in there. This is jerky.
I knew you were going to say an orange.
Why?
Why do you want to dehydrate an orange all the time?
Because... Aren't they just better dry?
Every time I call you, you're like...
The worst part about an orange is how...
juicy they are.
How juicy they are. I'm just like, I'm so sticky. What if I could just crunch it like a chip?
There's gotta be a better way.
I like to think the dehydrator is like a gun too. It's like... It just sucks all the hydration out.
It's not. It's super not.
That could be a scary weapon. Ooh, that could be a... Back to our ongoing thing we talk about each week, lately, feels like the superhero of the week, the dehydrator. Ever since that first poll result.
I'm going to get you if you stay there for 6 to 8 hours, you're going to be so crispy.
And hard to chew.
So jerky's really good. There's not a whole lot to say. Like, these food days are kind of difficult to really research for. I guess we could talk about the history of jerky, or just the history of the day.
So I want to know about the guy who invented it. I assume named Jerky?
Well...
Or woman. I don't know. Were they named Jerky? Who invented the jerky? The word jerky is derived from the Quechua word Cha'aki, which means dried salted meat.
I think this is a case of English people coming in and just taking the sound of the word and sticking it into letters that sound like it would be what they said.
Just stealing a word and wrecking it. Where's it even from? It's from South America. Huh. Is that South America? From the Andes Mountains. Where are the Andes Mountains?
And it's the mountains where that plane crashed and the footballers ate everyone.
What?
I think that's the mountains where the Donner Party crashed.
And the footballers ate everyone? Oh, wait, that was actual news. You're not making that up. I just remembered what you're talking about.
I'm pretty sure it was the Andes.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Yeah, it was. It's the Andes plane crash. Yes! That's one reference point for me, like we've been doing every week. Ba-ding!
Yeah, good work. You reckon they dehydrated the people? Let's not go into that topic.
Let's not go into that.
They invented the first jerky. Just like I don't know.
If Randall Munro on XKCD can make jokes about the Donner Party, so can we. That's a second reference point for me. Ba-ding! Man, I'm at like 32 now.
Oh, you wait. I will make a reference someday, and then I will have a point.
It's a really good character arc.
This is my dark moment of the soul, and I'm gonna make a comeback, and I'm gonna make one reference so good it's worth all your references. But yeah, South America, who knew it? Everything's invented in South America. They have all the best shit, like tomatoes and probably some other things that I'm forgetting. But I always feel like South America. Whenever I look up anything, I'm always like chocolate. Always like whenever I'm like, where's that from? It's always South America. I'm like, fuck, they knew what they were doing.
They're home to all the best snacks.
Right. They're just like South America is the snack capital of the world, I guess.
The snackadle?
Snacks and naps. Yeah. Because they have siestas too. Man. The snackadle. Snack napital. The snack napital of the world.
Oh my god. So, if you want to celebrate Jerky Day in style, we encourage you to not only go out and buy your favorite kind of jerky from the store, but to truly take on the mantle of a culinary adventure and find a cookbook for jerky and buy yourself a smoker or dehydrator. Come up with your own flavor combinations and varieties and produce the kind of snack you can eat the whole year round. What? So go out there and get smoking and curing and drying and enjoy the delicious meats.
I guess because it lasts forever.
Yeah, I guess.
How long does jerky last?
The whole year round.
How long could you just make some jerky and throw it on a bench? How long could it stay there? But not when I say stay there, I mean stay there and be edible, not just stay there of its own volition, forever, really. Otherwise, until the jerky police come in.
Well, as I understand it, the way that stuff gets infected with bacteria is by having water in it. And if you remove all the water, just eat that dry protein.
You reckon if you throw water on jerky, it just reinflates into meat strips instantly?
Yeah, pretty sure. That's what they don't want you to know.
They're always just instant, just add water. And that's why you eat it, because you add water to it and then it reinflates into food in your stomach.
Maybe it was like that thing from the early 1900s where they had cake mixes and the housewives wouldn't buy them if they had so little steps, so they made it so you had to add an egg. But
what?
With jerky, and it's good meat, and you're meant to add water to it because people stopped wanting to buy real meat because they felt it was too easy.
Maybe.
You didn't know about the cake thing?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm lost.
There's this thing, I'm not sure what year it was, but the cake mix companies figured out how to make cake mix, I guess. And then they realized you didn't really need to... They realized you could powderize egg and milk and stuff like that, so you would only have to add water when you make a cake at home.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, but the companies realized they would make more money, I think, if they made it so that you had to add an egg so you felt like you were doing something.
Busy work. We finally completed, perfected cakes. Let's just make it a bit more difficult. We got to give them something to do. all these bored cake making people.
I mean, that sort of stuff does tie into things. Like, if you looked at one cake mix where you could add a fresh egg and one where you didn't have to add an egg, you would probably think that the one where you add the egg is better or healthier or will taste better. Things like that, where maybe something costs 30 cents more. You're psychologically influenced to be that's going to be the better one.
Yeah. All that marketing psychology, that sinister, helpful beast.
Or smartphones when you buy them, and you go to the guy and he's like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to add your own egg to this," and you're like, "Oh, that's probably gonna be the good phone."
Yeah, I have to have a part in its genesis. I thought you were going to say people revolted, they came back, they made this cake mix which was absolutely perfect, and people were like, no, as usual, they're we ruin it. We're ruining the perfect thing. We don't want it that way. This is too simple. This cake, make it more difficult.
I don't want no eggs in my pan. I am Sam. Sam, I am.
I've already bought a ton of eggs. If I don't have to...
I bought my eggs for the year.
If I have to... I've already done that. If I'm going to get this cake mix, what am I going to do with these eggs? Make omelets?
Get the fuck out of here.
It's ridiculous. These are cake eggs. It says so on the box. Cake eggs. from cake chickens.
They bought them from the people last year. Like, I just bought this subscription from you for these cake eggs, and now you're telling me I don't need them?
Oh, that's why they had to keep them in there. They just sold her the subscriptions for eggs.
Everything was subscription back then. Milk, bread,
Man.
eggs. It actually was. Milk was.
Is that true? Because, I mean, like, milk came to your house. Like a magazine.
Yeah.
Like,
Can you imagine nowadays milk that walks to your house?
wow. I wouldn't trust it. I don't know. Especially since it's just like, they have like, you bring the bottle out the front and then they pour it in there and they go, fresh and original. You're like, you touch this. I don't want this.
This is the only way I can get milk, so I guess.
I mean, we'll get back there eventually as well, just with all of our groceries, with like Woolworths delivery stuff eventually. They'll monopolize it.
I was reading something about companies looking into reusable bottles and things like that, which makes sense. It's a logistical issue, though. But like all the issue with like all the plastic and stuff from bottles and stuff piling up, make them once, refill them.
You good idea.
I think glass was the material.
I mean, it makes sense. Less shit in the bin. Everything, we should just have glass receptacles for all the things we get.
We should just have it all piped to each house.
Yeah, just tubes.
Yeah.
This is the jerky tube.
No.
You just go, get your jerky ration for the week. It's like, jerky lasts forever. So what we decided we could do is we just made like 100 years worth of meat and jerkied all of it. And now we have enough meat for ages.
We just jerkied all the animals. Such is the folly of man. Any species that gets too advanced will eventually jerky all its food and run out of energy.
In one go. We reach peak jerky, where it's just like, actually, we've just made the perfect jerky. Like, we make the jerky gun, jerky man, the dehydrator. It's just like, the way he defeats the world is he just sells his gear to the public.
Oh my god.
And wins. And everyone's just like, let's jerky everything. What a dystopic and gross looking food future, but also delicious and takes ages to eat. But you eat way more than you expect. But everyone then gets really dehydrated and we drink all the water. This is actually a massive crisis that would happen. As soon as they install the jerky tube, don't eat it.
Dost thou not eateth from the jerky tube?
Although, if you get the jerky tube, I want to say don't eat it, but you know that everyone else is using that jerky tube. And you got to get as much of that jerky out of that tube before they get all the other jerky for themselves. Although it's an infinite supply of jerky.
Here's what happens. The government subsidizes the dehydrators and then sells the water to the people to rehydrate it.
The water tube goes, and now that's something you have to buy in packets.
Yeah.
So instead of the kitchen sink, that's the jerky tube. Jerky. Like put a cup under it and pour a full glass of jerky.
I hate this future.
Like, salty.
I'd rather live in the Soylent Green future past.
Pour it into your cake mix and sort of shuffle it about. Good. Doesn't work as good.
Oh, my software is telling us to go to ad break, so let's go. It wasn't muted like it normally is, so it just started playing the song.
It's a big bag of salt. Shove it in, just pour it on the food, and then the water just goes away. Now you got a big chewy soup. Take it with you, roll it up, put it in your pocket. Soup, wherever you go. Jerky soup. Jerkified soup.
Has this ever happened to you? Donk, I don't have time to cook this steak. You need the Jerkifier. Throw that steak in there. Rackle?
Rabble, just shabble. Rabble, rackle, mabble. Now it is jerky.
Jerk steak. What about this chair? Chair steak.
Want to take it with you?
Not suitable for use around children or young animals.
Boy, that guy Bill is such a jerk. If only...
Bill Steak! Jerkified. Get the new Jerkifier powder and the Jerkifier salt pack. It'll jerk ya. Alright, we're back. How's your new hat, Zeb?
Oh, it's cozy. It solves all the problems that I had with my last, which necessitated this hat.
Okay.
It solves all of those problems.
You should post a picture of it to Twitter.
Yeah, I will. I'll put a poll up.
On what? Just you put a poll up.
I'm just saying,
What does my hat look like?
do you like this hat? And people can comment on my hat in the poll, on the But Yeah podcast poll.
Here's what we'll do, is go into our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/But Yeah, or just search the But Yeah podcast appreciation group, and answer the poll that I'm going to put in there when I release this episode on what you think Zeb's hat looks like.
No, just, is it good? What do you think? What do you think of my hat?
Yeah, just what do you think of Zeb's hat? And just answer that. Yeah. It'll be amazing.
If it does remind you of something, feel free to comment with such. but I just appreciate really swell comments, really. Like swell compliments, I mean to say. Not comments. but complimentary comments. Don't ruin my hat, guys. This is important.
Commentary compliments.
Yeah. That one.
So what have you been doing this week?
What have I been doing? I have been getting engrossed in something I meant to talk about 4 weeks ago that I forgot to address for 4 concurrent weeks. What week are we on now since I first... So you may remember a while ago, back on Pack Rat Day, I mentioned that there was a drama, a civil war in the language sphere that isn't too big a topic, but I thought it was really vaguely fascinating in a very minor way. And I read one article. So, did you know that that some people put 2 spaces after their full stops in language, in writing?
Ugh.
Eamon? Did you know that?
What a waste of space.
That's what I said.
It's almost as bad as those people who do bullet points with hyphens but don't put a space after the hyphen. They just connect the words to the hyphens. It's awful. It hurts to read any document you create is what I'm saying.
I don't know what you talk. My hyphens are great, and that's not the topic of contention here. That is a personal choice, which I love. Anyway, so from the Science Alert website, there's some great stuff. They're just like... They're talking about this thing. So apparently it all originated from typewriters. When we used typewriters, language was generally awful. So after full stops, they do double spaces because all the letters were basically crammed in a pile anyway and you couldn't read anything.
Right.
So one space was between words and 2 spaces for after full stops. And there were some great quotes from different people on like which one is better. And they're like, one guy who was called Farhad Manju, he was like, 2 space after period is totally, completely, utterly, and inarguably wrong. And on the other side, there was someone who was like, you can have my double space when you pry it from my cold, dead hands, wrote Megan McArdle. And so it's like some sort of point of controversy.
Yes, like that French quote, give me my double space or give me death.
Yeah, exactly.
No, hang on. I just said a completely different thing than what I was about to say.
It worked.
It's like that quote. Let the Queen said.
Let them have 2 spaces.
Yes.
Let them eat 2 spaces.
Yeah, I guess the other quote was better.
The public's just like, you can't eat 2 spaces. The nutritious diet consists purely of 1. Let's dehydrate these spaces down to 1 space, and that's the better amount of spaces. Salt it liberally. Anyway, so science tried to solve this problem. It went, you know what? I'm sick of this controversy. Science is stepping in. Literature, you guys are in shambles. You're not solving shit. So they got a heap of students and presented them with like letters and see how well they could, like they locked their heads in place so they couldn't like look around and stuff and see how well and quickly they read things. And it was shown like somewhat conclusively that like 2 spaces after a full stop is better. Because it's easier to read because you have your brain separates the words more efficiently.
Yeah, I mean, 100 spaces after each word is going to be easier.
I mean, isn't a paragraph just 2 spaces after a full stop in a way? And I mean, you need, like, I hate it when, like, you're reading something and, like, there's no paragraphs and it's just a big old block of text. That's scary. When I see that, that's scary. I'm like, ugh.
I'd rather have that than each sentence is a new line.
Yeah, that's not what this means. Just 2 spaces.
Yeah, I know.
There was, like, the counter argument, like, this was using a specific font where, like, a font that, like, resembled typewriting, but modern fonts on computers don't.
Yeah, Comic Sans is nothing like typewriting.
Yeah. They're made to be spaced efficiently, so, like, the people who made these fonts are just like, we made these fonts perfect, don't fucking, why are you putting the second space? What are you doing? And they're just like, no, this is basically still typewriting. So, like, all that happened is this science article said this, and I like the quote at the bottom of this Science Alert article, which is just like, we are avid supporters of a single space and won't be changing our style without an overwhelming body of research to tell us otherwise. This one thing isn't enough. Not enough. You need a full literature review and journal to actually bring this to light. And it's a kind of this is going to be a hot button political issue I can see in years to come. You heard it here first. This is going to be a dangerous one. No, this is going to divide countries.
Now, if we could somehow implement this into audio, it would actually do wonders for our ability to edit this show.
just double, like a pause. I guess that's exactly what a full stop is.
Just if we were just a little more organized ourselves. It's also just our connection quality isn't great, so we talk over each other a bit, and then I have to fix that.
You said it was good. You liked it. You felt it was more efficient when we speak over the top of each other.
Yeah, I mean, it technically is more efficient because we get more words in a smaller amount of time.
So I've been deliberately talking over the top of you.
But no!
For the sake of time efficiency.
That's not what I want.
But yeah, that's a war I didn't know about. And I'm like, wow, the English language hates itself.
Yeah, it does.
You learn that every day, whenever you use it.
It's like so many different meanings for words. It's a mess out there.
How can we use dehydration to solve this problem? I think if we just jerky up the whole English language and just get rid of spaces altogether, wouldn't that be better?
Well, think about what jerky is.
Just like jerky, it would be harder to chew, but space efficient.
Yes.
It's like talking over the top of each other, which is the jerky of audio.
It really is, except for the editing side where I take them all and extract the sentences and put them back together.
This 10-minute recording is actually 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Because you have to add water to it. I have to add water to this audio file. Just inflates. Loses all nutritional value.
If anyone's out there adding water to jerky, I'm very concerned.
It's not really the point, is it?
Or maybe they're the ones who know how to eat jerky.
At least not adding the water to the jerky before you eat it, because really the whole point of jerky is to get thirsty and drink more water, I feel. I want to drink more water, but I am not thirsty enough.
Maybe you add a lot of water to that jerky, make yourself a nice broth.
Whole soup. Maybe when someone's just like having a bath, you just chuck a jerky in there.
Maybe it was never meant to be food that you just eat. It was meant to be like brine broth chips that you make like a nice soup with, but someone was like, what's this you've got in your pantry? This is salty and hard and chewy.
It's like if someone got the cake mix and just ate it. Like out of the box.
Or like, I'm guessing like it caught on because this guy had been doing it all year without the other guy realizing. And he was like, hey, where's all my soup chips? And he's like, oh, what do you mean? And he's like, I had these hard bits of meat that I used to make soup. They're not really good for anything else. And he's like, oh, I've been eating those. And he's like, you're a real jerk. And now you know the rest of the story.
I like that story better than, I don't know, what little I know, which is, I mean, it could have happened in South America too. Just in a different language.
Yeah, just translate this thing.
Stop eating my soup chips. No. No. They should call them soup chips. That could be a new brand of jerky. The soup chips.
They pretty much are.
Once you pop them, nom.
Please go out into the world and call beef jerky soup chips for us.
We would love it. It would justify our journey here today.
I'll put a Photoshop on our Twitter of beef jerky packets, but they've been changed to say soup chips.
Yeah, we might put it on. We'll put it on the Twitter. We'll put it on the But Yeah with the poll about my hat.
You can find us at But Yeah Pod on Twitter, or you can find us at the But Yeah Podcast Appreciation Group on Facebook, where we do our fun polls every single time that we do an episode. It's really good. We've also got the Instagram. It's really been popping off lately, actually. You've been posting a lot of good content.
Yeah, I've really picked it up since last week.
Until next time. I keep saying until next time and then thinking like, until next time, we'll see you next time.
Until next time, we'll see you then. That's the opposite of what I mean.
This has been Eamon.
Until next time, we'll get on out of your ear and let you listen to hear some other noises. Like traffic. I don't know. Where to... The regular world. Re-engage with the real world from day to day. Experience that ambient chatter.
Get some jerky.
Loud chewing of jerky everywhere. Chew that jerky.
Just get a big old mouthful. Anyway, I can't keep doing post-show goofs. It just extends the thing so long. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Stay crispy.
And dehydrated.
Bye. Hey, if you like this show, you might enjoy my new wordplay comedy podcast called One Letter Better, where me and a good friend podcaster guest sit down and take the titles of things you submit, love, and send in and make them, well, you get it. It's One Letter Better! Available on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.